People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for having me. Premier League stars and duds of the week. Now, before we begin, sadly, well, it's not really nothing sad, but as an Arsenal fan, it is pretty jarring having to wait till Monday night to watch my team play. Leicester in the same predicament. So, if you're a Leicester or Arsenal player, if you play good or bad, apologies, or you're lucky this week, you're not going to be involved. You guys have to allow me, man. I know I do a lot, but this is long tomorrow. But so, yeah, over the weekend, we might as well talk about, or I might as well talk about my best performers and worst performers. So let's start off with the stars. With the stars, you know what? I'm sure Foster was in goal. I'll give it to Foster purely because I find myself always putting Foster, well, not this season, but he found himself in a lot of duds of the week last year. And his team had an almost faultless performance, so he can signify that. So Foster goes in goal for me, if I can remember rightly. I've put Ashley Young at right back purely because I can't lie, first 20 minutes, in fact the first half, it looked like he was going to be in duds. Like, it really looked like he's going to be long for United. The only problem with Chelsea versus United, well, I know we're not here to speak about that, but my opinion of the game was, yeah, Chelsea just didn't take their chances. They did a very, well, not maybe now, but Arsenal performance of when you score one, you behave like it's 4-0 or so. United were probably over-respecting them a bit. Both sides would have taken a point before, and to be honest, both sides are points fair, but both sides could almost feel a bit bitter because they lost the lead from winning positions. But it was a good game for the spectacle. It was a good spectacle, and it was good for the neutrals. So yeah, back to Ashley Young. He was stressed out at first. Hazard, first 20 minutes especially, he was giving him the runaround, and I felt after that he really composed himself. I'm not to say he was amazing and stuff. It's just when things are not going your way and you're getting ripped, you have two choices. You either rein it in, control yourself, and apply yourself, or you sink. We've seen many fullbacks, or many players, in fact, have a terrible opening exchange, and then they just get worse and worse. And it was good mentality from Young. Like I said, he didn't play amazing, but I recognised that. And as a fellow fullback myself, I was harsh on him. I'm going to be more harsh on him, so I think he deserves his spot. His United teammate Luke Shaw's going to go at left back purely because I feel probably Shaw and Lindelof will be in the team as well, but I think probably just them two and Martial, or them three, or whatever names I've said. There wasn't they were the players that if it really went specifically to Shaw as well, I really think if Chelsea won that game and at a period it looked like Chelsea were all on top of them, I feel Shaw was one of them that could leave the pitch with knowing that obviously you can try better, but only putting a good performance. I felt they were targeting the flanks. In fact, they were targeting Luke Shaw. It looked specifically. You saw how many crossfield passes, anytime more or less out his feet, they were trying to put it in behind him and stuff. And I felt he reacted well when he signed a new deal, and it looks like his United career is back on track. So Luke Shaw's going to get in the team. I've already said Lindelof's going to be there. I'll put Rudiger as well. Probably everybody let themselves down for the goal Chelsea conceded, but I feel for a while now he's been playing all right, and he had a good game as well. Obviously he scored. I feel he deserves to be in the team. It's not really fair to keep blocking him, so he's had a good performance. Following on from Watford in midfield, I'm also going to go with Capoue and Decor, man. I felt both of them were good for Watford as well, especially Capoue. That was a very good goal. Sad for Fernandinho. I felt he could have been in here same way. Bernardo Silva's going to go in the 10 role for me. It was a toss-up between him and Mahrez. I've actually put Mata and Martial as well, and Sergio's going to go up front. Many players could have been in here. Sane could have been in here. Mendy, Fernandinho, like I said. Lookman, Czech Tosin, and Calvert-Lewin purely for coming off the bench making an impact. The same goes for Barkley. There was a couple players I felt played alright this week, but yeah, they're the ones I'm probably looking at. So yeah, if you're United, I felt a couple players did alright from United. But moving on to duds, Joe Hart's got to be in goal for the duds first and foremost. It was a toss-up between him and the Wolves keeper. I'm going to go with Joe Hart purely because when I watched the highlights I watched the extended highlights to the game. I watched Match of the Day as well, and I've seen the in-depth highlights as well. So I've seen a bit of the game, and it was pretty funny seeing him bowled out. They could feel a bit hard done by the second goal they conceded, but you can't get slapped. Your team got slapped in it. He's in goal, whether it's his fault or not. Joe Hart's got to go in goal for me. So he's not alone. Burnley's Tarkowski's going to go in here as well because you need another member because Burnley were poor in my opinion. I'm going with Tim Ream. I'm so sure for Fulham you made a horrendous mistake dwelling on the ball and you got finesse for that. So Tim Ream's going to go in the team as well. Calum Chambers is going to go right back. Marcos Alonso's going to go left back. So yeah, that's the back four. Chambers got stressed out, man. I mean, Chambers, it looked like he started off, on a couple notes on Chambers, it looked like he started off as a right back and then he got changed because it looked like Joe Murphy or pardon me if it's not Josh Murphy or whichever Murphy brother it is, stressing the left-hand side of Fulham out. It's not just Chambers. I mean, a lot of, specifically, Fulham aren't playing that well, but specifically, since the season has started, it's been the whole defence. Like, you've seen a lot of chopping and changing. You've seen 3 at their back, 4 at their back. It's just not happening for them, and they need to pattern up. But Chambers, you look like you was going to have an Arsenal career this year. You've gone on long. You need a point to prove it didn't look well, and a lot of people have been underwhelmed since you've actually been there. So that's the back 5 of Joe Hart, Alonso, Tarkowski, Tim Ream, and Calum Chambers, obviously. In midfield, I'm actually going to go with Kante. I'm going to go with Kante. Fair enough, he's not playing in his role, but I felt he was actually largely anonymous. So I'm going to go with Kante. I'm going to go with Ruben Neves, if I remember rightly, and he was playing because I felt he was a bit underwhelming. Don't get twisted, a couple West Ham players could have been in here same way. And although Pogba, for me, really turned on the style in the second half and fixed up, I felt I can't really get the mistake out of my head. It's just, for me, a lot of the flicks you were doing, it pays off sometimes, but in the context, it wasn't needed. I'm a big Pogba fan and I defend him week in, week out, even though I don't support the team, as you guys know, and all you've seen with the vid. So I think I'm more than justified to put Pogba in here when I see fit. So Kante, Neves and Pogba make up the midfield 3. To be fair on Pogba, is it Milinkovic of... And do you know what? I allow Pogba. Milinkovic of Crystal Palace purely for that poor penalty, and you was anonymous. So Milinkovic will come into this side, man, instead of Pogba. I allow you Pogba. Up front, Morata's definitely there. Lukaku's definitely there. And Willian is definitely there. So for the full 11 people, Joe Hart, Tarkowski, Tim Ream of Fulham, Alonso, Calum Chambers, Milinkovic, Ruben Neves and Kante in midfield, Morata, Lukaku and Willian. Like I said, the whole Burnley and Wolves could have been in here, to be fair. Loughton could have been in here. Barnes, probably Hazard too for the second half. Matic actually escaped as well. I felt Sacco, Van Aanholt and Tompkins purely for the last 2 goals they conceded as well. Theo probably could have been in here. And Bernard. So yeah, let me say the stars as well in case I didn't say it again, man. I normally do. Foster in goal, obviously. Young, Shaw, Lindelof, Rudiger, Decor, Capu, Bernardo Silva, and obviously up front you've got Martial, Sergio and Mata. I felt Mata had a good game as well, man. I don't know apologies if I didn't say Mata already and I was just speeding through it, but yeah, man, that's stars and duds of the week. And it's a long week for me, people, because I've got to do hella previews now, 3 games of the week. I've got to review this thing tomorrow, but it's the life I signed up to, man. So if you're an Arsenal fan, or if you just want to laugh at Arsenal win, lose or draw, or you just want to come for the knowledgeable thing, then I'll see you lot in 24 hours or so. As for now, DG, I'm signing out. As usual, thank you for your support and them things there, people. Out.